Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Fire Emblem Awakening. Let me remember how to zoom in, there you go. Some Fire Emblem Awakening Lunatic Plus. Today we're going to be recruiting the daughter of, not Crom, where is he? Lonku and Noe. This is Na. She has some problems in a no-grinding context. Specifically, this chapter is pretty difficult to clear until much later on in the game. So by the time you get her, she's going to be even more underleveled compared to the other child units. I think she works a lot better in a situation where you either invest a lot of resources into making her good, or if you're just willing to grind. Because otherwise, you're going to have to reset her level to another class, you're going to have to train her from level 1. You can make her into like a rally unit or a staff unit, those options might be good, but Noe doesn't really easily pass down any great rallies, so I don't know, there's just a bunch of problems. Either way, I gave her lock touch, I gave her strength +2. She'll be able to open chests if we need her to. At any point in the future, if we need a second lock touch unit, I guess we can use her for that. I'm probably not going to use her, I'm mostly just doing this chapter for the experience. Hello Tricky Burrito, welcome to the stream. Hello Duke Nuka, welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing great today. So I'm mostly just doing this as like a paralog chaining type thing. I'm just going through all the paralogs now to get experience and levels to help me with the difficult upcoming chapters. The gimmick of this chapter is that you have these walls that will just randomly disappear, and if you're playing on hard mode, or you're playing on Lunatic, or playing on Lunatic Plus, unfortunately the walls open up at the start of enemy phase, giving the enemies the opportunity to run out and attack you when you have like no indication that they would do that. They're basically like ambush spawns that you can see. The other thing about this map that's really annoying is that there's a bunch of enemies that have Mire Tomes, which is like a huge siege tome range. There's this guy here. I don't think this one has it. No, this one does have it. Okay, so this guy here also has it. This guy here has it, and then this guy here also has it. Additionally, there's a bunch of casters that have waste tomes, which I believe are like the brave tomes. Yeah. So there's a bunch of dark magic users who have brave tomes, they have siege magic, you have walls that you can't really get through unless you wait for them to magically open and close, which is on a cycle that's really difficult to understand. Anyway, let's just get right into it. I'm not even going to do any resetting for skills, I'm just going to go with whatever I have available. Hey Mirror Fanboy, welcome to the stream, how are you doing today? So one thing I'm going to do is, we're going to have to take this slow and steady. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a unit in range of this caster right here, and I'm going to have him use all 10 of his Mire Tomes at the start of the battle. That way I have a lot more freedom when I'm moving through the second half of the map. I don't have to worry about all of these tiles being threatened, or like these tiles right here being threatened by overlapping Mire Tomes. I can just get rid of this Mire Tome early on by having him use it 10 times. So in order to do that, I'm going to find a unit who can survive a 40 damage attack from an enemy with Luna. That's probably going to be one of my Pegasus. What I'd probably like to do is keep one of my staff users up here. So what I could do is I could leave Lisa up here with a character who's capable of surviving the attack. I bet Lonku can just take it, honestly. Yeah, I mean, technically Lonku can just take it, and he also gets a bonus by standing next to Lisa. I'm just going to put him here. I'm going to leave Lisa here. I will also put Noe next to him. I don't think I need them. I'm pretty sure Crom can recruit. Nah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to advance the rest of our units over. Lucina should be paired with Cynthia. Cynthia's going to be my primary staff user for the time being, because of the fact that I have Lisa sitting over here. Okay, I can put Noe here next to Lonku. The only thing I'm worried about is if this guy keeps missing Lonku. Oh, never mind, he has 100% accuracy. Yes, so he can't miss Lonku, so we're good on that front. He cannot miss. So we just have to wait for him to attack 10 times, basically. I did not even do my positioning at the start of the battle either, just because, if I remember correctly, there's not really any time pressure on this battle. Na's passageway won't open until you get close to it, so you can basically take this map as slow as you want to. Most of the passages are only scripted to open when you get close to them. So there's really no reason at all to rush here. What I will do is check on these two enemies. I believe they don't have overlapping ranges. They do not. This guy has Nosferatu. That's fine. Let's use this as an opportunity to get some experience on... Well, let's do this. Let's get some axe rank and bow rank, like this. And we'll move Henry down here, and this should be fine. This sorcerer is going to run up and attack us. Because he hits us first, he doesn't get any healing from Nosferatu, which is good. Now we just have these two enemies to deal with. Honestly, the opening on this map is like pretty easy. You can take as much time as you want to get prepped. The difficult part is once you get over here, and you have to deal with the passageways that can open, and they can allow enemies to rush out at you in groups. Tricky Burrito asks if I plan on using Na. No, I'm not going to use her. There's no room in my team. If you look at the... I guess I should have showed this at the start of the chapter, but if you look at the deployment order, all of the characters that I'm currently using gives me exactly the number of units, which are like is the maximum deployment slots for most chapters. And in the chapters where I have a few extra slots, I'm going to use them on Libra and Anna, so that I have extra rescue staff users. So I don't think I would ever deploy her. The only reason I would ever deploy her is if I turned her into a staff using character, but her magic stat is very low and she doesn't even have access to any staff using classes. So no, I'm probably not going to use her. The only way I could see myself deploying her is if for some reason I was on a map and I needed 2 lock touch units. I would bring her as... In fact, no, even in that case, I would use Anna as the second lock touch. So in this case specifically, I wouldn't use her, but you can plan out a run where you can make a run where you plan to use not. It's just not something we really prepped for on this run. Alright, so this guy's going to keep attacking Lonk. Let us make sure that his health is quite full. In fact, also, let me make sure I stop getting Discord notifications. I know you guys don't want to hear that while you're trying to watch a stream, because then you're going to think somebody's messaging you. Let's do a poll too while we're here. I'm pretty sure I know who's going to win this. We're going to do a favorite Gen 2 Sun poll. And there's one option that I'm very sure is going to win. And I'll put him in last place. And he'll still get the most number of votes. Yeah, she has access to Sage. No, but I'm talking about like immediately. Like a character who could switch over to Cleric, for example. Like Brady. Well, Brady starts as Cleric, but let's say I paired up Noe with... Kellum, for example, and she inherited the Cleric class. You could switch her over to Cleric and immediately turn her into a staff user. That's what I'm talking about. That's like a context where I would use her. But that would be pretty bad because her magic stat would be atrocious. Alright, so Lonku, just stand here and keep taking attacks for a while. I guess that's all we need you to do. You gotta be careful about this guy. Don't stand in his range while you're trying to fight other enemies. He does have Vantage, so we're gonna have to deal with that. What I can do is... we have pretty good resistance. He does have counter, unfortunately. Okay. I can do it this way. Steel Lance. Bronze Bow. I'm gonna bait in dual strikes here. Nice Aether. That helps a lot. Nice dual strike. That helps a lot. Okay, cool. That allows Lucina to get some experience too, which is something she's been struggling with. She's also triggering Gale Force, which is nice. Now this guy here, we'd like to use a bow on him as well if possible. The only problem is, I don't want Lucina to act again immediately. Let's just use Noir for this. Let me make sure I'm not in range of anything else. It does not seem to be the case. I'll even give her the shiny spot because she likes weapon rank right now. Alright, so we'll go like this. Attacking with a bow is good because it's going to play around Pavis. We'll also have the opportunity to bait in dual strikes and get some axe rank. Beautiful. Weapon proficiency, that's exactly what we wanted. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to mend Then I'm going to dance. Then I'm going to mend again. In fact, let me stand in this guy's range. He could potentially miss me, which is a little bit frustrating, but that's fine. What is his attack power? It should be 40, right? Yeah, 40. So I'll stand here, bend you back up, have you stand next to your support partner. We can even have, actually Henry doesn't matter in this case. Hold on a second, I'm not going to move into range of Nah just yet. I'm considering just skipping 10 turns. It's a little bit boring, but it's like one of the best, most consistent ways to beat this chapter. If you just stand right here and wait 10 turns, you can burn out all of these Mire Tomes. Okay, we've got to be careful that we actually heal Longku up now to like pretty close to full. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. I have to move him back for 1 turn. Hello Spin, welcome to the stream. Hello Aid, welcome to the stream. No Inigo option, yeah, sorry. There's only 4 options. I knew Owain was going to be winning anyway, but I guess maybe Inigo would have been nice to have on there too. Hey Drex, welcome to the stream. We're doing the Nah chapter. Yeah, this one, I mean, it's an interesting chapter, I'll say that. I would actually be really happy if this guy had a 100% hit rate, because it's going to take a while to burn out these Mire Tomes with his current accuracy. Oh, it looks like the passageway has opened. Okay. I gotta check the notes then. I gotta see how long that's gonna stay open. The unit approaches Nah's chamber, reaching blah 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 on turn 3. The northwest wall in said chamber will collapse. The wall repairs itself when no units remain in the chamber. Okay, so the wall won't repair itself until there's nobody left standing in there. That being said, I might be able to just do something like this. Stand here, go like this. Can I get in there? Not quite, but I can probably do it from here. Alright, and we'll see what happens if any enemies start moving. I'm actually not sure like what causes the enemies to start moving in this chapter. We're about to find out. Guard is actually good. If we guard, it still uses up one of their tome charges. So this guy's got 7 left. This guy should have 9 left. Yeah. Okay. Oh, they are going after her. Okay, this is going to be a slight problem. Yeah, we should have hung back slightly. Let me check something. Let me see if there's something that causes the enemies to start moving. Or what causes the enemies to start moving. The southern enemies start moving when somebody enters the center hallway. I don't think that's right. They begin moving unprovoked on turn 3. Yeah, so okay, so on turn 3 the passageway opens and they start going after Nah immediately. That's good to know. Do I have a longbow? I should have one, yeah. I think, who would be holding it? It would have to be Crom, because he's the only one who can. Yeah, Crom is holding it right now. Okay, we have to make sure we actually kill this guy. So that we can trigger Gale Force. So we're going to use Javelins. Man, this guy has a lot of HP. We did not kill him, okay. I'm going to restart. I didn't realize that we had a time limit on how fast we needed to get to Nah. For some reason I thought you could just stand up here. It's actually been, I should mention this, I did not get any opportunities to practice this chapter during the week. I had a very busy week for just personal reasons, family emergency type stuff. So the last time I beat this chapter was actually 2 years ago. It was actually 2 years ago. So I did not get a chance to practice. This is very important information that we're going to have to factor into what we're doing here. On turn 3, this passage is going to open up, and the enemies are going to start going after Nah. So we have to come up with a plan that's going to get us down here faster. So let's do that. Hey Alejandro, welcome to the stream. Is the chapter going good? We basically just started, honestly. I am going to reset now just because I was mistaken about some very important information. But other than that, it's going fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fast-moving characters 1, 2, 3, here, here, and here, okay. Then I can put Olivia here. This looks fine. I want you here. Okay, this should be fine. This is going to help us do what I want to do. Although, honestly, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. just because of the way the enemy attack ranges overlap, but we'll see. Where's the guy with the other Meyer Tome? Here he is. Let's make sure we don't get stuck in their ranges. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair up Henry with you. Then I'm going to go here. I'm going to hit Rally Move. I'm going to dance for you. You're going to go here. Now I'm going to start pairing up the characters with their respective partners. That's going to be Lucina with Cynthia. Severa here. Lonk goes here. And then these two are just, I don't know, they're going to hang out, I guess. I probably should have come up with a plan to get this pair moving forward faster. Okay. So what I can do now is like move everyone to the edge of the enemy ranges. I could possibly even just do what I did last time, which is move somebody into this guy's range. Now, unfortunately, this time he does have Nosferatu. Sorry, he has Aegis. So I probably want to counter him with a physical weapon, not a bow. No, he doesn't quite reach. Okay, I'll do this. I can do sword rank in that case with a hand axe. Okay. Now I'll just move everyone else around. Drop Henry over here. This pair goes here. I can rally speed. Go here. And don't have any other rallies to use. Just unpair anybody who doesn't need to be paired up. Now we should get a nice... Oh, that is atrocious. I'm doing no damage at all. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, but the enemies in this chapter are pretty tough. They have very high defense, very high HP, and it makes it difficult to do this chapter early on in a run. So by the time you end up doing it, Na ends up being extremely underleveled, even compared to other child units. Which is what we're seeing now. Our characters are doing like 4 damage. Like, this is a pretty trained character. She's like a level 8 hero, and she's dealing 4 damage to this guy. Hey Charmander, welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're happy about it. If we get Owain's Paralog, am I going to do Vantage Sorcerer Gaming? I'm not going to use Owain. I just haven't planned for it. To be able to use the child units in Lunatic Plus, you have to plan for them. You can't just like pivot into using a child unit. You can't just like be like, oh, like you can't be like halfway through a run and then be like, oh, you know, it would be really cool if I use Owain and just add him to your team. It just like doesn't really work that way because they join so underlevel. Like you really have to plan like how you're going to get them to work. I do want to get Owain's Paralog though, just so that I can get some free experience. So on that note, I need to start grinding experience and like ranks on support ranks on these two. So we're gonna work on that while we're here. Try to get Henry some experience as well. Ooh, nice dual strength. This guy does have Vantage, unfortunately, but I can play around that a little bit by going like this. Yeah, I gotta find something to do with this sorcerer over here. He is going to be an absolute menace. What does he have? Vantage and Vengeance. And 1 to 2 range. And Aegis. I could attack him with a longbow. I don't really do that much damage. I need to attack him with a character who's capable of taking damage from Vantage Vengeance. So it needs to be somebody with... Vengeance is half, right? Half of accrued damage, okay. So, 45. So 6 damage plus 45. So somebody needs to be capable of taking 51 magic damage while engaging this guy. No, he can do it. Should we just have her do it? How hard does she hit? Okay, she actually hits okay, like decently hard. With the Silver Axe, if she can double him, which I'm pretty sure she can. So let's do this. Steel Bow here. Go like this. Hit him with the Silver Axe. Now he will get a little bit of healing in. He also might trigger Vengeance, but even if he does, we take it. The crit helps. For sure the crit helps. Okay, while I'm here anyway... let's stand here and bait out a Minor Tome use. Back to Crom. If you get Owain's paralog, am I gonna... oh, sorry, I read that already. Hey, Tricky, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Hey, Ampharesi, late to the party, but you're here, no worries. I know I'm a little bit out of it today. It's like I said, it's just been a really busy week for me. Really, there's just been a lot going on. Alright. But I'm doing my best. And I want to play some Fire Emblem Awakening. Nice guard. That does waste a weapon charge. Okay. What I will try to do, if I can... I could try to kill this guy with Gale Force and then run back. That will give me some options. Let me see what my damage against him is like. I can do 20 damage with dual strikes, and 21 with basic attacks. So I want to increase my damage a little bit. I can switch to the silver bow. I can deal 24. Plus 21, so 42 plus 24 is 66. That actually still does not kill. Yeah, we need to do something about our firepower here. We're just not dealing enough damage. We could go for crits. I believe the Innisbow has a good crit rate. Okay, we got 2 dual strikes. We got very lucky there. What we would probably, if we were planning this out better, we would want to get, like, tonics and stuff. Oh, this is another Minor Tome user, by the way. Alright, we'll run over here. We will recruit you while we're here. And then just go like this. Can she take a hit from this Minor Tome? 40 damage, no Luna. 21 speed. 17 speed. A lot of res. I'm pretty sure we take this. So let's do so. This tile is only threatened by this guy, so we can set someone up to fight there, although he does have counter, which is a little bit problematic. Let me make sure there's only one guy with the Minor Tome, not a bunch of guys with Minor Tomes. Yeah, it's just the one. Okay. So I'm going to move her here. She can take a hit from this Minor Tome and even waste one of the charges. Now this guy having counter is going to be a bit of an issue with our planning. So we have to think about what we're going to do about this. So we need a character who can fight him without killing themselves with counter damage. Did we discuss the advantage of Crom using bow instead of sword versus wyverns? I mean, we've discussed it like a bunch of times since like the 4th stream up until today. We've been discussing it over and over again. Every time someone comes to the stream and says, like, why are you using Archer Crom? I feel like we've had the same discussion every time for the last 3 months. Owain's a cool Myrmidon. You know it isn't the great class on the planet on any difficulty, but the skills are really nice. You think the class is just like middling? Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering how good like Myrmidon actually is in this game, because typically I just go into other classes, so I can't really say how good I think it is. What is my build for Na? I'm not going to use her. If I was going to use Na in a no grinding context, there's a couple problems. So typically, for the type of unit that she is, I would try to get her to just use rallies so that her low stats and her low level didn't matter. But Noe doesn't really have an easy path to passing down any rallies, so she's not really great for that. The other thing would be like to make her into a tertiary staff user, which means I would have to pair Noe up with somebody who has staff access, and then switch Na over to cleric immediately, or promote her into like a higher tier staff using class immediately. But actually that doesn't work, because she starts as a Manakete, so you have to grind her all the way up to level 30. So yeah, I would want to make her into a class that would allow her to switch into either a Troubadour or a Cleric immediately. But that's also not really great for her because her magic stat is so low. So she has some problems. You can definitely make her work. The other thing you can do is just like hyper invest into her, like pick like some kind of combat, like combination of like high stats and skills that you can pass down to her to make her combat viable right away. And then, you know, figure out a way to beat this chapter as early as possible. If you were going to use Na, like that would be one way to do it. These late game wyverns with spawning with Swordbreaker really screws over Crom if he isn't a bow unit. That's true, yeah. No, we haven't talked about that. I'll probably talk about it like when I get to that point in the game. But yeah, that is true. All right, let's take a look at this guy. He deals 41 damage. He's not going to double anything, so he would deal 11 damage to Robin. The big problem is Robin would need to be able to kill him, which is very dubious, considering the fact that this guy essentially has 95 effective HP. It's insane. So we would have to do around 48 damage. We'd have to do 2 attacks with 48 damage. The problem is if we deal 48 damage, 48 plus 11 is 59, so then we would kill ourselves. So yeah, it actually doesn't work. Like mathematically speaking, if you can deal enough damage to kill this guy in 2 hits, you can't take the amount of damage that you would counter deal to yourself. Although that's not exactly true, because then his defense score would again be removed. So hold on, let me cut this in half again. 67 divided by 2 is actually 33. So 33 plus 11. We actually might be able to take this if we can get our attack up to 48, which we can just do with a silver axe, and then probably we get +1 strength here as well. Yeah. Am I willing to risk this? I'm kind of curious. I want to see if this. I haven't really experimented with this type of math before. I want to see if this works. This is kind of my first time doing this math. To do like a quick on-the-fly calculation. This is a very interesting, very different like on-the-fly calculation from the way I normally check to see if units can survive counter damage. But I'm curious to see if it works. So if I'm correct here, Robin should be able to survive no matter what. I'm actually going to leave you over here. Alright. So even if this guy hits us, we should be fine. Yeah, we take a Mire Tome. Take actually less damage than I even thought anyway. Okay, I don't think that Dual Strike mattered, because the next hit for 35 damage would have killed him anyway. Okay, so now we just have these 2 guys to take care of. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure more enemies are going to start moving unprovoked. I'm not sure which ones do, but I think some do. And if not, then we can hang back. Then we can move back and start doing what we were originally going to do, which is burn out all these Mire Tomes, because there's just not a safer way to do it. There really is not a safer way to do it. It's one of the reasons why this chapter isn't really liked very much, because these Mire Tomes. What are my thoughts on Bowbreaker on a flying unit? What unit is the most viable to pair for a unit like that? Tricky says they've tried stacking Evasion on Wyvern Pan, but it's still not very reliable. Wind Tomes still hit you very hard. Yeah, I mean, the Bowbreaker helps, but it doesn't really guarantee anything. So it's one of those things, like, do you want to invest that much effort into something that still doesn't really give any guarantees? Has Lucina finally improved? She is doing a little better. She's still not that great. Her attack, I mean, her attack's okay. 43 is not that low. Her bow combat is still trash. We can get up to like 39 damage with the bow. Yeah, I don't know. She's okay. Let's just look at this combat, for example. Like, she only deals 14 damage to this guy and he has 70 HP. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's insane for her damage to be that low. Let me get Na out of here before I do anything else. If I can chip him down first, I can maybe let her pick up the kill, though. Can Henry fight this guy safely? Answer is, of course, no. But I can have Lisa do it. If I damage him enough, I can set him up to the point where Lucina can get a kill and trigger Gale Force, which is the ideal here. So if Lucina can run in and trigger Gale Force here, which she should be able to do, he's not using Nosferatu, we're going to hit him twice for 14 damage. We probably could have even used the Bronze Bow there. Now this one is significantly less scary, because he does not have Pavis. Let me go like this. He has Thoron. We can deal with Thoron. It would be nice if we could double him, wouldn't it? I can probably rally speed, right? Yeah, I can rally speed. One of the really cool, underrated things about Gale Force is it allows you to do stuff like this. Like, we can have this pair fight and then still have them rally speed afterwards. So then we can go like this. I like this. That's fine. Yeah, we just have to be prepared to trade down, like, over and over again. Now I'd like to give some more experience to Lucina, so I'm going to do this. Dance. So you can have them trigger Gale Force, use Rally Speed, and then dance for them and let them attack again, which is, like, so cool that they can do that. I want to keep raising my bow rank. I think the bow rank is going to be very important. I can one-shot her. I don't like that crit rate, though. Hold on. That crit rate is very scary. I can remove the crit rate. Hold on a second. I can actually completely eliminate it by having Robin stand here. But that means I will have to use my sword instead of my bow, but that's fine. There you go. So yeah, so the big problem is we have to trade down so much. Now, like, all of our units are on low HP. Lisa's also in a very precarious position that I, for some reason, did not realize until right this moment. It's because I left this guy unhighlighted. Okay, how much damage is he going to do? 40 damage minus 23 is 17. Yeah, she actually survives on 1. Good times. Bailed out by my units just being good. I'm actually not going to run forward because I think there's going to be enemies that are going to start moving. And if they do, I want to have freedom to just back up. Yeah, we survive on 1. Okay. So if these guys are not going to start moving, we're going to take the time to burn out all of these Mire Tomes, which is going to be extremely tedious. Let's see if any enemies start moving within the next couple turns while we heal up all of our characters. You guys ready for this? It's going to be really fun. Let's also make sure that we don't allow ourselves to get crit either while we're doing this. I want you to dance for Cynthia. Cynthia's going to start getting a ton of experience from using stabs this chapter. This is a really good chapter for getting staff experience onto your characters. Okay, are any enemies moving? Answer seems to be no. Okay, I'm gonna start dealing with these Mire Tomes. Although unfortunately we kind of just set up a situation where we can't grind out this Mire Tome anymore. I think if you move back over here, the passage actually opens back up, but I'm not sure. Does this guy have Luna? He does not. Okay, I'm going to pair her up with her father. Just have them stand here. And I'm going to put Robin next to them just in case. If there's any kind of crit chance, having Robin stand next to them will just remove the crit chance because of Solidarity being awesome. If you want to use Morgan at all, you can just, like, have her stand on the battlefield and use Solidarity, or him or her. Like, if you're not gonna, if you don't have the opportunity to train Morgan, it can still be worth fielding them just to have them use Solidarity, just because it's that good. Alright. This is not going to be the most fun thing in the world, but we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, she could also proc Miracle. One thing I like about this pairing too is I believe Cynthia almost heals them right back up to full with one Men's Staff. And in fact, if I give her a magical partner, she could heal them back up to full with a Men's Staff. Which means I don't need to waste as many turns, just because I can heal them back to full every turn. Luna can't proc with Mire? Oh, you might be right, actually. Let me go into my convoy really quick, too, while I'm here. I have another Men's Staff. Trade this over here. Trade this here. Okay. Mire. It just says Dark Magic allows for long-range attacks. It doesn't say whether it triggers, but it probably doesn't. We can check, because there's going to be one that has Luna. Oh, I guess not. If you go back to the start of the stream, if you look at the archive, you should be able to check and see there was an enemy with Luna who was attacking Long Ku, and you can see whether or not Luna triggered on them when he was attacking Long Ku. That would probably be the best way to check. It can't double, use offensive skills, or dual strike when using Mire. So the problem is, I'm assuming you're reading that from the wiki. The problem with the wiki is that a lot of times they just copy the descriptions from Fates items over to Awakening, and the items don't actually work the same way in Awakening. I'm not saying that's the case in this specific instance, but I have encountered that before on the wiki. So you have to be kind of careful with just trusting what the wiki says, because sometimes it's actually just wrong. But, I mean, we can test it for ourselves, and we can, like, double-check it for ourselves by looking at the stream footage, just to confirm. Okay, we've got 5 more uses here, then we're gonna have to fly back up to the top and do it 10 more times up there, which is so fun. Did I give her Lock Touch? Yeah. I don't know why I even did, honestly. I'm not gonna use her anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Also, hey Pika Boy, welcome to the stream. There is no Mire in Fates. Okay, so that answers that question. So it must be correct. So how was everyone's week? How are you guys doing today? Are you enjoying the Mire grinding? The good thing is we're going to get Lance Fair very soon. That's going to improve our damage, for sure. With Cynthia. The only problem is Cynthia is already our best Gen 2 unit because Falcon Knight is so good, and specifically so good for training. Please stop missing. Please stop missing. Oh my god, please stop missing. I don't want to do this for any longer than I already have to. Please stop missing. Please stop missing. Yeah, I'm not using Na, I'm just doing the paralog for experience. Duke Nuka says that doesn't really make sense. Awakening came before Fates, so why would they copy it? I have no idea why they would do that, but they've done it. If you go to the description for Dragon Skin, unless they changed it, if you go to the page for Dragon Skin on the Fire Emblem Wiki, it has, like, at the top it has the description for how Dragon Skin works in Fates listed, and you have to go, like, through the page, and you have to find a specific line entry that's, like, lower down on the page that explains how it originally worked in Awakening. Instead of using, like, the default Awakening description at the top, they use the default Fates description at the top. So yeah, and a lot of articles are even younger than Fates. That's another good point. Like, the wiki hasn't always been around forever either. So when people made the pages, like, they might have just referenced Fates because that's the game they were playing at the time. Okay. Robin, you're gonna have to go too. Pika Boy. Of course you'd be here. You're technically doing a video about Na, which is your daughter. I've done the Na as a daughter before because I think Robin Noe is, like, a pretty good pairing. Why is she not gaining experience? You pair her up with the speediest unit in the game. What else do you expect for her not to dodge? I mean, I guess that's true. So in this game, you don't get experience for dodging, which is kind of funny because I've been the little amount of time that I've had to play games this week, I was playing Fire Emblem 6, testing out my ROM hack that I've been working on. And as a result, it's just kind of amusing, but in that game you do gain experience for dodging. And now I'm playing this game where I'm not gaining experience from dodging anymore. This chapter being so tough is a pain for the people who like using Na. For sure, that's true. Yeah, they make the recruitment and the training of Na so punishing. She's very difficult to recruit early on, and she's very difficult to train. She starts in well, I would say Manakete is not the worst class for training, but being so underleveled makes it pretty difficult. The best thing she can do is just chip units from two tiles away with her Dragonstone to get some chip experience, and if you do that enough, like, maybe she can get some levels. But it helps if you can get her some good growth rates. I think Noe Vake is a really strong pairing. It's one that I've become a fan of recently. And I think that would also make Na a little bit easier to train, because her strength score would be so high. Her Dragonstone will be dealing a ton of damage, and you could also you could pass down strength +2 from Noe, and you could pass down. I'm not sure what you pass down from Vake. I think probably the best way to use her would be. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, if you want to use her as a combat unit, I'm just wondering if you could grind her all the way to level 30. As a Manakete, and then switch her over to another class. I think you can do that with Noe. I'm really exploring the possibility of doing that with Noe, grinding her all the way to level 30, and then switching her to another class like Sage, because her magic stat will be very good by the time she's level 30, because her growths are insane across the board. You voted for Owain. Hey, Naive Skitty, welcome to the stream, by the way. You voted for an Owain. You voted for Owain, but where the heck is Brady? So I can only include 4 options on the poll, so I had to leave Brady and Inigo off the poll. I'll try to remember to include them next time if I do another one of these. I mean, you know that Owain is always going to win. That's the thing. Like, Owain is always going to win these polls. Yarn has that problem too, but even worse because his class is 1 range locked. Oh yeah, Yarn is an incredibly unfortunate character. He has to be the worst Gen 2 unit. It's almost certain that he's the worst one. And for SC, you like Noe and Donald. The villager skill is the best skill in the game. Sarcasm. Yeah. I mean, honestly, aptitude's pretty good. Aptitude's pretty good. If there's one thing I'll give them credit for, it's that aptitude is pretty good. Especially if you can inherit it on another character who is worth using. As opposed to having it stuck on a character who's kind of not that good to use. Okay, so I'm a little bit worried that this passage is going to stay closed. If it stays closed, I won't be able to bait out the remaining Meyer tomes. Although maybe I can. Maybe he reaches up here. The problem is I don't know if this door is going to open. Let me check. So, if the unit enters the southern hallway, columns 1 to 20 rows to 1725, the first wall's breaches begin opening, starting 3 pages, blah blah blah. If the unit enters the center hallway, the 2 breaches appear in the enclosed chamber next to Na's chamber. The wall repairs itself with no... Okay, if the unit enters the center hallway, columns 1 to 20, 12 to 20... Oh my god, what is this? Like, seriously, who designed this map? Columns 1 to 20... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Rows 12 to 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. This doesn't seem accurate. Is this really going to open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here. Let me see. I can wait here safely. Yeah, the wiki's not even accurate. Cool. So the wiki's not even accurate, so that's fun. So now we have no idea if or when this passage is going to open. That's always fun to playing around. Mobius Metalloid, welcome to the stream. You just finished Fire Emblem 6's Chapter 16X, and watching this, it's good to know that siege tomes are inescapable. Yeah, this is certainly something. All right. Okay, let me get. I don't even know what to do on this case because we don't know when this passage is going to open or like how it's going to open. The last time I beat this chapter was 2 years ago. I don't have the information needed. Let me see how far this guy can reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. If I put a unit exactly next to this, 3 squares away from exactly next to this tile, which is a very weird way to phrase that, but like I said, my brain is just completely fried this week. Let me go into the convoy too. I need more stabs. I'm running out of stabs already. Okay, who's a good unit for this? Probably... Let's use Lucina. Make sure we don't get doubled. Certainly not, right? Yeah, no, we don't get doubled, okay. So, 1, 2, 3 here. We're gonna use our iron bow. In fact, let's just even use our bronze bow. Go here. I need actually a better... Where's my steel lance? I gave it to someone else when I was passing items around. I have no idea who has it. Oh, okay, her partner has it. Okay, 1, 2, 3 here. Give her back her steel lance. Just hold the heal staff for now, I guess. Okay, so if the wall opens, Lucina should get attacked at 2 range from a bow. The wall does not open. That kind of complicates things because now if I move forward, I'm in range of this guy, and I'm also in range of this guy who has counter. Oh my god. You've paired Noe with Chrom. That's interesting. Inigo is as good as the amount of infinite dance grinding you give to Olivia. Yeah, I also want to explore infinite dance grinding on Olivia, even if it's just for the Iron Man run. Like, you could give Olivia a lot of stats, which is kind of important. Inheriting luck plus 4 doesn't really matter, but the stats really matter. Snow Warning asks, does that mean sometimes Robin is your son-in-law? I have no idea about that. You played hard mode. Oh, sorry. You played the chapter more than 2 years ago as well, but you played it on hard mode. Olivia 10 levels as a Myrmidon instead of Dancer. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I would definitely consider dance grinding her to maximum level in her join chapter. It's something I have considered. The guy who made this map needs to be put on some kind of list. Yeah, definitely some kind of list. I don't know what kind, but definitely some kind of list. Alright, let me see if there's a tile I can access that is only threatened by one enemy. Yes, I can. I can fight just this guy. So I'm gonna do that and see what happens. Let's put Robin next to them again, just to remove the chance of being crit. Alright, let's see what happens. This is the kind of map where you just have to play it like as slow, as grindy as possible. I mean, you don't have to, but if you value your sanity. Because otherwise you're gonna be like an hour and a half into this map, and then one of these walls is gonna open, and an enemy's gonna run out and kill your character, and it's gonna be extremely stupid. Okay, this guy does not have Vantage, so if I can get myself into a position where I can just attack him and kill him before he kills me. Maybe like this. Only problem is I can't actually reliably kill him, because I still don't have Lance Fair. Lance Fair is a really big deal. An extra 5 damage per hit is like crazy, but we didn't quite get there yet. I could have another character do it. Where's your partner? No, really, where's your partner? Oh, here she is. This pairing might work better because they do have the strength bonus from Hero. We'll move these two back. Separate them. Go like this. God. What is with these enemies? Alright, let's just do this. Steel Bow. Iron Axe. Just go like this. We should be getting Lance Fair very soon, though. Where's Henry? Excuse me? Did I make Na inherit the lock touch skill so that I can use Long Fu somewhere else? No, I just did it without really thinking. I mean, my thought process was that if I ever needed 2 lock touch units, I could send her into a map, but that thought process is extremely flawed, because number one, there's not any more chapters in the game where you would need 2 lock touch units, and number two, if I was going to need 2 lock touch units anyway, I would absolutely use Anna. I wouldn't use Na, I would use Anna. So there's no reason for anything that I did, it's just pure stupidity. Alright. Go down the list. We'll take out the next one. At least we're getting some crits. That's worth something, isn't it? I'd like to heal you. Dance for you. I'm very sorry this is such a boring chapter, guys. We had to do it at some point. Go here. I can actually even rally move for them. Move Robin here, and then I might be able to just pick up this kill and then run away. Of course not, this guy has infinite damage. We also have to be careful about this passageway just randomly opening, giving this guy access to us. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to stop him if he does that. This one closes now that, yeah, this one opens up, so he'll probably run in and attack us in melee range. In fact, they just kill us. Alright, let's start over. Let's spend another 40 minutes doing this. What a fantastic chapter. What an amazing chapter. Yeah, these Dark Knights are very tanky. A droppable door key. Are there doors on this map? No, there's not even doors on this map. Oh no, there are doors on this map. There's one right here, and there's one right here, and I think there's one over here as well, yeah. So if you don't want to deal with the passages opening and closing randomly, you can open these doors. The problem is by the time you've done that, you've already ran to the end of the corridor anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are Not and Morgan's paralog the only paralog that have risen? Oh, I have no idea. Random wall opening killed me. Yeah, it just, I mean, what are you gonna do, right? This is pretty rough. I mean, probably if I was on top of my game, I could plan a little bit better for this, but I'm not on the top of my game right now. There's something I wanted to change, which was, yeah, this. And then this should be fine. This is slightly better than our previous opener. Guide, don't do this map if you don't enjoy suffering. It would actually be pretty funny if I just released like a 1-minute guide video for this chapter. And it just says like, don't do this chapter for any reason whatsoever. Just never do this chapter. It's a very bad idea. Okay, Severa appears up here. Lucina appears up here. Long appears up here. Now we should be able to rally move for everyone. Go like this. Dance for you. And go like this. Okay. Yeah, if I was at the top of my game today, I might, like, you know, have the mental capacity needed to keep track of these, because I think there might be a pattern to these passageways. I'm not really sure. The northwest, well, the southern hallway, the first wall breaches being an opening, starting with the 1-3 spaces east of the door. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but it doesn't say like how they rotate though. Hold on a second. Okay, if a door in the wall is opened, all potential breaches in that door's wall become permanently opened. For the first and second walls with doors, the breaches move from east to west, looping back before the starting on the east side. Breaches also appear to detect how many playable units are nearby. If the next breach in the pattern has more nearby units than any other, the breach will not move for a turn, and then it will skip to... Oh my god. What are you talking about? Okay, based on what I understand, the reason that happened is because the opening was over here, and it goes from east to west. So because the opening was already over here, it looped back over to the right-hand side. So we could have predicted that that was going to happen. If I want to take credit for just like not being good at the game, the reason that happened is because I just wasn't paying attention. I could have predicted that that was going to happen, but I just chose not to. Alright, I'm a little butthurt about this, guys. I'm pretty angry right now that I have to redo this entire thing. Especially because we spent all that time grinding down those Mire tomes. It's just painful. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, that's a good start. Get rid of this guy immediately. Yeah, so I think the problem with the wall system in this chapter is it's just too complicated. Like, it just doesn't need to be this complicated. Honestly, it's a bad gimmick to begin with, but even if it was a good gimmick, like, it just does not need to be this complicated. Like, there's no reason they had to make it this complicated. It's a strategy game. Like, one of the key things about strategy games is you have to be able to predict and strategize around what's happening so that you can, like, base a strategy on, you know, knowable factors, like controllable factors. And the fact that this is just so complicated that you can't, like, control it and plan around it is just really bad. It's just really bad game design. Bad map design, I'll say. This is, like, the worst designed map in the game. This has to be the worst designed map in the game. Even the one that is just, like, Mire spam, like every enemy spamming you with Mire tomes, at least that is, like, consistent. Like, at least, you know, you're consistently getting attacked by Mire tomes from every direction, every turn. Like, it's the same thing will always happen. This is just nonsense. Like, this is just pure stupidity. Yeah, the guide looks like a single Fire Emblem hero's skill description. You admire my endurance. Imagine having a grandchild named Nope. They breach depending on the amount of nearby units. WOD just says, yeah, so WOD says random. Supposedly the wiki says number of units. Supposedly the wiki also says there's a pattern, but then also it can detect how many units are nearby on top of the pattern. It's just insanity. Hey Starforce, welcome to the stream. You would have voted for Brady if he was in the poll. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm limited to 4 options. The walls should get cracks to show that they're going to break soon. Yes, that would perfectly fix all the problems with this map. If you just showed a crack on these walls the turn before they break, that would be perfect. Hey Melton, welcome to the stream. How am I doing today? You know what? I'm doing as good as I could possibly be doing, all things considered. I've had a very intense week, but I have things in my life that I'm thankful for that make me feel happy and make me feel good. So, Duke Nuka Duke Nuka's crashing out for me in the chat. So I don't have to crash out. You'll do it for me. Thank you very much. The pattern, Mason. What does the pattern mean? I think everyone just agrees that the pattern is just way more complicated than it needs to be. Alright, let's see about... who do I even want to train, honestly? Would I rather train Noe or would I rather train Lonku? I kind of want to train them both. I really want to make Noe and Lonku work. Look how strong they are. They're so much stronger than my other characters. Like, this is really the highlight of why I say Gen 2 units are not very good in no grinding context. Like, my Lonku and Noe are not even high tier units. And their combat performance is so much better than every single one of my Gen 2 units. Like, even better than Cynthia, who is right now my best Gen 2 unit. This is an extremely minor optimization, but we're gonna do it. So we can fly all the way over here. We also never gave a tonic or anything to Sumia to increase her consistency for picking up this kill. That's going to be a little bit of a problem, but because we just did rally move on all of our other characters, we can get everyone else closer to the action, which means we might be able to pick up this kill in other ways. Which will help with the consistency issues. And honestly, our group as a whole is looking much stronger. Okay, so this opens up, these enemies start moving. Okay, so here's what we would like to do. So we don't want to end our turn in range of this guy. Well, can we fight these two? Is he going to use Bolganon or is he going to use the Silver Sword? That's a question. He's going to use Bolganon, I'm pretty sure. The only reason he would switch to the sword is if the damage bonus from the sword rank is higher. I just do not feel like calculating that. How do I want to do this? I could use a rescue staff. Go like this. Go here. Start working on our axe rank. There you go. Now we... What's my rescue range? 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I can pull them back over here. So we pull them back over here. This is just to guarantee that Chrom and Sumia will get the kill. So they can go like this. Trigger Gale Force. You don't have to do this, you could just rely on like dual strikes and things like that if you wanted to. Run back over here. Recruit this young lady. I want to leave her within range of Meyer. Now we want one unit to be left in range of this guy. Unfortunately, he pulled Luna counter this time, so he's even more dangerous than last time. I don't feel like doing a bunch of crappy math to figure this out. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to NOS tank. I'm just going to be lazy. this will also break the 2-range Nosferatu tome that's been sitting in my inventory for a while, which is a slight convenience factor. Ooh, Olivia gets some shiny spot experience, which is like the least useful thing. But whatever. I'm at the point in the run where I don't need to worry about optimizing shiny spots anymore. Okay, so this should... Yes, even if we didn't one-shot that guy, we would have healed ourselves with Nosferatu, so we wouldn't have killed ourselves with counter damage. That was kind of the logic. Okay, cool. Another guy with counter. Fun. So this time we're going to be careful to leave a unit within range of this Mire Tome, so that the wall doesn't close back up. So we can burn out this Mire Tome first. Speaking of Fate, 2 is my favorite second-gen unit in that game. Give me some time to think about that. Hey Nondot, welcome to the stream. Has anyone made a mod for Awakening Children having the Fates upgraded system? I mean, honestly, I actually like the system of child units in this game. I think they have more potential to be much stronger than the children in Fates. They're always going to eventually be stronger than their parents, but it requires work to get them to function in a no-grinding context, which I really like. I don't like how in Fates you basically just get them for free and you don't have to... Excuse me, you don't have to put any work into training them, you just get units for free. But they also, in many cases, just get outshined by their parents anyway. So it's like, they're not even, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just, they just changed it like in the opposite way of what appeals to me. They removed like the hard work that you would put into getting a good unit, and then they replaced it with just a unit that's not like worth the effort, which is, in this case, is like no effort. So I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird. I don't like it. I personally just don't really like it. As for the characters, though, there are definitely some that I like. Alright, we're gonna have to go... in fact, let's do Beast Killer here. Yeah, let's bait in Beast Killer dual strikes. Oh my god, this guy one-shots Slunk. I did not expect that, but I think I have Rally Res, don't I? No, I have Rally Magic. Who has Rally Res? I think Libra has it, but he's not here. Wow, I just can't believe this guy one-shots me. I can kill this one, but that doesn't solve the problem that I actually wanted to solve, which was to get rid of this guy. What skill is that, by the way? Is that Life Taker? Yeah, I almost never see that icon because, like, who would ever use Life Taker for any reason? Let me keep track of the Mire Tome this time, because last time I left a unit in his range, very foolishly. Alright, I'm gonna bait in Beast Killer dual strikes to get rid of that guy. Now I gotta be a little bit more careful about this guy over here. Should I just let this pair fight him? I just don't want to be too lazy, because there's a lot of experience that I can get on my other characters. If I put in the effort, I can get experience on these other characters. And it would be doing a disservice to my team if I don't do that. If I just be lazy and just give all the experience to Saria and Lanku because they're already strong. Okay. I can actually just do this to get her back up to full. They should be in the range where this pair could almost guarantee a kill. Not really because of this stupid him having Aegis and Habis. But what I can do is... Yeah, okay, I see what I can do. If I go like this, switch, I want a Silver Bow equipped for really strong dual strikes, and then I will just bait in dual strikes here. Just because I know my direct attacks aren't going to do much damage, because I'm having both Aegis and Habis. Now I can have Lucina actually pick up a kill, which is great. I love letting her get a kill whenever she can. She's very, very weak. In fact, I can probably even get a bow kill. I can even get a bronze bow kill. Very cool. And then Gale Force will trigger, and she can run back to safety. So we run back to safety, like this. And we even have our Dancer free. She can do approximately nothing for us. I'm a little bit scared because I don't know if this enemy has a crit rate against Na. Did somebody say that they can't crit? The Mire Tome can't crit earlier? I know it can't trigger enemy skills. Let me scroll back up. Let me see if I can find it. You know what? I'm not going to do it. There's just too much text. Yeah, Libra has Rally Luck. Rally Res is a Valkyrie skill. Ah, I see. I should have trained a Valkyrie. Ophelia is the closest second-gen unit in face that you can think and close to Awakening second-gen, especially if her mother is Elise. Libra should be allowed to be a Valkyrie if he wants to. Yeah, I actually agree. Ampharesi, you like having every unit being viable in higher difficulties rather than Awakening's most rigid unit viability. So the thing is, I think every unit is viable in higher tier, like higher difficulty Awakening, which is kind of what I'm showing off in these videos. I'm showing that all the characters can be viable. Just because this Na right here isn't viable, that doesn't mean Na is not a viable character. She's just not viable because I didn't plan for it. So my whole point, and why I'm saying I like the child units in Awakening more, is because the characters are only viable if you actually make a plan to make them viable. Like, it rewards good meta strategy and planning and coming up with good builds and figuring out how to train them to work, like within the context of a playthrough, as opposed to Fates, which just gives you the characters for free. So my point didn't have to do with the units being viable or not viable. It was about, like, getting them for free. Okay, let me see what this guy's movement looks like. Okay. I'm gonna use this for my future planning. Anyway, while I'm doing this, somebody let me know if the Mire Tome can land crits as well. Percy has access to a ton of rallies if you want to go through effort. But then Niles can just capture Rallyman anyway. Yeah, that's another thing. There's just so many cases like that. Okay, you guys are talking about Fates. I've said this before, but if people are going to talk about other games in chat, I'm just not going to read all the messages, just because there's just too many messages for me to read, and they distract from the game that I'm actually playing right now. So I'm not against it. You guys can talk about whatever you want. It's just I'm not intentionally ignoring your messages. It's just the reason I'm not reading them is because it would slow down the stream to, like, an absurd degree. Because I'd be spending like 15 minutes at a time reading messages about Fire Emblem Fates. Which is not the game we're playing today. Alright, let's go up here and start grinding out other Mire Tomes too. Let's see. Nobody has answered my question. Yeah, nobody has answered my question about the Mire Tome yet either, which is also can sometimes be part of the problem. If people are just like having an unrelated conversation, I'm not getting the information that I need from chat. Yeah, hey Shadowstar, by the way, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Noe and Lonku have really impressed me on this run, although they're performing about as well as I expected. I know they can be good, if you allow them to be good, but it's just really, like, I'm glad that I was able to show that on stream. We can also test our theory on Luna. So this guy, we're going to see if Luna triggers or not with the Mire Tome. Supposedly it shouldn't, but you never know. We've already calculated that Lonku can survive a hit from these guys, I believe. 40 damage. So if I go like this, I can even pair him up with somebody who's going to give him resistance, which maybe you, yeah. Pair him up with Henry, and then you're going to go here, and then I want Robin next to you. My only concern is that he's going to be dodging attacks. No, he can't dodge. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's see if Luna triggers. Luna did not trigger. So yeah, you guys are right. Luna does not trigger. The question is if they can crit or not. Because if they can crit, I might be risking a bunch of crits here on Na. I can actually even do this. I can transfer Henry over. Mend. Actually, that's not going to work. Just have to be more careful about my HP. Where's Crom? we're almost done with this guy. He's got 4 more Mire Tomes. The good thing is I can burn through them just using a heal staff this way. Rather than needing to use a mend staff. Okay, after this, we're going to be very careful because I do not want to reset this chapter again, especially after the Mire grinding. Like, once we get past this Mire grinding, I'm not resetting again. I'll end the stream if I have to, but I won't play through it a 3rd time today. I know I can beat this chapter without resetting. It's not even that difficult. It's just very tedious, and like because it's so long, you have to like play for a very long time without making any mistakes, which is the part that can be very draining mentally. You think you remember a Mire Tome critting before? The wiki says that it can. Okay. Well, let's just assume that it can then. Which means we might be risking crits on Na. I'm not really sure. What is this crit rate even? I mean, this crit rate's only 10. Her luck is 17, so I think she can't be crit. Among Awakening Child cast, what hair color combination do I like the most? You like Severa Vake for blonde Severa? Yeah, honestly, probably most of my favorite ones just have specifically to do with Severa. I like blonde Severa, I like green-haired Severa, I like red-haired Severa. She just has a really good design, especially when it comes to her hairstyle and hair color options. Are there any others that really stand out to me in terms of child units? Not really sure. I still haven't come up with like a Fates Gen 2 character that I really like either. I'm not like a Fates hater, but it's just like not really my favorite game. Especially recently, I've just kind of come to like accept the fact that I just don't really love playing Fates that much. It's a fun game to watch other people play and talk about, but when I try to play it myself, I just get bored. That's just the truth. How many Mire Tomes does this guy have left? But at least we know for sure that it doesn't trigger Luna now. I will be using Na for the remaining bait outs. I think she works very well for this. And this guy has... So we know that Luna's not going to trigger, so she doesn't have to worry about Luna. We just have to let her get hit a bunch of times. In fact, I can do this. And we can even send Robin with them this time, just in case I'm worried about them taking attacks. Oh my god, please, just let it end. Obviously, this is not the most pure and the most fun form of gameplay. So if I'm going to be talking crap about Fates, I mean, I have to accept that, you know, Awakening does have stuff like this that you just have to deal with. I'm pretty sure if her mother stands next to her, it'll just remove the crit chance. Although they don't technically have their C support unlocked yet. Yeah, you have to be in a very specific mood to enjoy playing through Fates. You think Na looks nice with Chrom's hair color? I guess I'd have to see that, yeah. You guys like Virion Sev because of the Hatsune Miku hair. Hey, Mr. Krusty Crest, welcome to the stream. Hey, Sothis, how good would I say Cynthia is? I think Cynthia is actually pretty good. She's one of the better Gen 2 units in a no-grinding context. Ellery, have you ever considered doing Yarn's Paralog and choosing to fight both enemy groups on Lunatic Plus? I've already done it, yeah. I've been hanging out in Bloog's Discord for a very long time, even since before I started posting these videos. And if you go back through the message logs in Discord, you'll see me talking about my Awakening Lunatic Plus when I was playing through the game before I started making guide videos, and I was like experimenting with the chapters, learning about the different mechanics, testing out like different builds and grinding playthroughs. And I did the Yarn Paralog where I fought both enemy groups, and I talked about it in the chat, so all the information is in there. Although Discord is like pretty bad for like archiving and searching for messages, so I'm not sure if you can find it, but maybe you can. Are there any first-gen males with pink hair? No, you'd have to use Robin to pass down pink hair. You don't like how they changed Jerome's base hair color to match the father's? You'd rather have it stay pink? Yeah, so you'd have to do Robin with pink hair specifically, unfortunately. There's a lot of cases like that, where the only way to get like a very specific hair color is by using Robin. Please tell me that's the last one. It is not. Oh god, how does he have 3 left? This is insane. How does he have 3 left? That's not even possible. There's no way that this guy has 3 charges left. My god. Someone just end this already. Should we just start grinding up here? Just so we don't have to wait. I'm just so scared that she's gonna get crit. If she gets crit, I'm telling you guys right now, I'm ending the stream. I'm not even kidding. You know what I'll do, actually? I'll just do an Uma Musume stream today instead. That's exactly what's gonna happen. If Nog gets crit here, this is ending. I'm not doing this. We're gonna stream Uma Musume instead. So be prepared for that. If I get a game over at any point in this chapter, that's what's gonna happen. He's got Invisible Arms Thrift Plus. Dude, Arms Thrift Plus would be scary. Go over here. Almost had a mend stabs and heal stabs. Let's go Haru Urara. Did you guys watch the Haru Urara stream? It went pretty well. I did a couple of career playthroughs off stream in the meantime, getting ready for the next stream. The next one we're gonna do is King Halo. I'm not sure when I'm gonna do it, but I feel pretty motivated to continue streaming the game. It seems like people actually enjoyed watching it, so might as well keep streaming it. Charmander, you want them to crit because you want Uma Musume. I was actually gonna make a poll. I was thinking of making a poll on the YouTube community page to see if people wanted more Uma Musume streams or not. I mean, at this point, though, I've kind of decided that I'm just going to do them anyway, but I might just make a poll just to see what people think. But even if everybody votes no, I'm just going to keep doing them anyway. So that's just the way it is. Okay, we've got 7 Meyer tomes to live through. Simply Rudolph Legends race. Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think I only got the chance to play one day this week, but I think I looked at the Legends race that was on. I did it like one time. If I go into the combat animation, I can check the crit chance. Yeah, here's the thing about that. I do not like turning on combat animations in general, and if I turn it on right now, it's just going to lag the stream. And possibly even crash the stream, which I don't want. So we're just not going to do that. Somebody mentioned something like there's a weird, like really specific change you can make that causes like the game to not lag during combat animations. It's weird though. It's not like something you would expect. It's just like a weird workaround that for some reason works. But I don't care enough to do that. I'm just gonna play with the animations off anyway. But yeah, technically I could see what the crit chance is. I'm just gonna assume it's 0. I have more luck than they have crit, so it should be 0. Please crit for the Uma. Anyone know how child unit bases are calculated? Because you had Manakete Morgan spawn with some nutty bases before. I know that in Fates, they changed it so that it's capped, so you don't get very many stats from your parents. And not only do you not get very many, but like how am I trying to say this? So the way they calculated it, the parents don't pass down very much of their bases to the children. And on top of that, even if you grind your stats to be very high, there's an extremely low cap. I think you can only get like either 2 points from each parent or just 4 points total in general, something like that in Fates. But in Awakening, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it was uncapped completely, but the cap was either infinite or it was much higher. And on top of that, like the formula for passing down the stats, I believe, passes down more stats. There's probably some page on the wiki you could find that explains it. If you go to the Fire Emblem wiki, I don't feel qualified to explain it right now, but I think there is an answer, and I think the children inherit a lot more than the children from in Fates do. Okay, so like, for example, I think this is the middle doorway, so after this one, the next one should open up here. We can even test that theory, because we can safely fight this guy this turn. So let's get Lucina over here. We want her partner with, this isn't worth wasting a Forged Beast Killer. We're not really in any rush, Yeah, okay, so it's working the way that I think that it works, so that's good. So now it should wrap around and come back over here. But the thing is, with this guy standing in the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's not going to be able to come all the way around and attack us in melee range anyway. So what I can do is go over here. Heal you back up. And even if he can, we're not going to get double attacked by him and the general likely. So the problem last time is we got double attacked by him and the general. This time we're only getting attacked by him. So it's not that big of a deal. Nice kill. Okay. So now it should wrap around and the opening should be on the door that is the furthest to the right. At the start of the next enemy phase, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to wait for a turn. We're not as close to Lancefer this time, because we didn't use Cynthia for all of our grinding purposes. What I can do is I can maybe... Honestly, I just don't have that many stabs left over. I really don't have that many stabs left. Okay, so yeah, so now the door on the right opens up. Okay, so let me see if this range here overlaps with this range here. It actually does not. We can actually bait out just the general. The problem is at the start of enemy phase... So if I'm not mistaken, what's going to happen is at the start of the enemy phase, the walls are actually going to close and he's not going to be able to reach me. I can try to bait him out, but I don't think he'll be able to reach me. Yeah, he won't be able to reach me. Okay. But we know this turn, only this Risen can reach this tile. So let's work with that information. Let's send you over here. We want hand axe equipped. Pair up. We're gonna have to dance. We're gonna use the bronze sword. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get her sword rank up to a usable level, but might as well train it while we're here, and then we can go like this, and we can even rally speed for them while we're here. Alright, let's see what happens now. So now we have to be worried about the general. Wow, 3 damage. That's so good. Okay, now we have to be worried about the general. So, to deal with the general, what we're going to do is we're going to just use this tile here. We're just going to move back over into the corner where the general can't reach us. So we're going to start with this. Can I get a heal staff, please? Thank you. This map is so tedious, guys. This map is beyond tedious. Robin here. And this should be totally fine. Everyone should be safe. And interestingly enough, the passage actually didn't change this time. Oh my god. We got 2 dual strikes and we triggered Aether and we still couldn't kill this guy. That's how overtuned these enemies are. They're so bulky. There's a good explanation on the wiki and both on Serene's Forest. It's an average of the mother stats, the father stats, and the child base stats. Okay, so it just averages all of their stats out. Crit for nice nature. Who are your favorite Umas? The child base stats are pretty low, so that's why... Yeah, the stats end up being very low overall with the averages. Fate's children spend too much time not being traumatized to get stats. Awakening children stay winning and crying. It was something weird like... Yeah, okay, I'm not going to read that. It has to do with emulation. And for SC, you're going to head out. Alright, have a good night. Snow warning. You're glad that I'm blaming the enemy instead of poor Lucina. Yeah, that's true. That's character development. I used to blame Lucina and just talk about how trash her combat is. Now, I'm not blaming Lucina anymore. I'm just blaming the enemies for having super inflated stats. I should be able to just kill this guy. And then trigger Gale Force. Okay. So now, this guy is the only character who can reach this tile here. when this door opens up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Robin to pull him out without fighting him. So he walks through the door. And then now that he's on this side of the wall, now we can chip him down with our own characters. Nice, completely pointless vengeance proc. This could be an opportunity to let Henry and or Lisa get some experience. I can't believe Henry can't double this guy. That's bananas. Maybe with rally speed he can. Answer seems to be no, but I can... what can I do? I can pray for a dual strike, and we got it. Cool. I wonder if Henry will ever get to level 5. Okay. Next big problem is this guy here. We can individually pull him out. He will attack over the wall or through the door with the silver bow. In this case, it would be over the wall. Let me make sure we have a character capable of fighting him safely, so it would be Lucina. She has 37 speed. That's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, he has... Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter what skill he has. We can just go like this. We don't need to we don't need to one-round him or anything. We just need to fight him safely. And he doesn't one-shot us, right? Probably should have checked that. 60. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't one-shot us, but that's crazy damage. Okay, let's just go like this. So he should walk over to the wall and attack us. Yes. Nice Aether proc. Once again, Aether procs and 2 dual strikes, and we still didn't get the kill. Okay. The good thing is, now we have him in a really nice position. We can fight him over the wall, kind of with whichever characters we prefer to use. We need a staff. Oh, I hit the complete wrong button that I wanted to press. Okay, that's fine. Let me get Crom over here. Okay, we have a full mend staff, but we don't have any heal staves. That's really scary. I don't know if he'll continue moving. Okay, he doesn't continue moving. That's actually very good. That plays to our advantage. Okay, we are not super likely to take him out. Oh, I paired up with the wrong character. That's why I paired up with the wrong Bow Knight. How do I fix that? Okay, let me heal first. Go here. Bring out your actual partner. Okay, now we can pray for dual strikes here. We can also have Robinson next to them and then go like this. Okay, we're gonna trade with Lisa. So that we can mend here. Getting very scared about our lack of healing staves and mend staves. Hey, Neff Champion, welcome to the stream. Good morning to you. It's afternoonish time here. Charmander, your favorites are Gold Chip and the 2 polar opposites. Yeah, I like both of them as well. I think Gold Chip is my favorite overall right now, but that's kind of a basic opinion because I feel like everyone's favorite is Gold Chip. But she's just so good. And the actual horse is so good and so funny too. As it turns out, really funny characters are pretty much always the best. Henry, why? Why am I using him, or why is he so weak? When they get turned red from being selected, the Sorcerer Hood looks like a stereotypical slice of meat. This guy right here looks like a slice of meat. Hey Tricky, what did you miss? Not much. We're just pulling out these enemies one at a time by using the wall to our advantage, and now we understand how the doors work, so we're just going to take our time and do it slowly. Yeah, we're back on the wall. Oh my god, these guys are overtuned. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I just... There's really no words for what I just experienced. There's truly... There are no words for this. Okay, So the scariest thing is these guys over here. We have no idea when this wall is going to open. The wiki is clearly wrong, because the wiki says that this wall will open up when I'm standing, like, here. And it's obviously... you can see that it's not opening up when I'm standing here. So we have no idea when this wall is going to open, and 12 enemies are going to pour out and attack me, which makes it very difficult to peel through this wall over here. The next enemy would be this one, which is going to be another tricky one. I should probably, because I'm so low on stabs, I probably need to use Lisa for a little, at least a little bit of my heal staff usage. Okay, so here's the problem. If this wall opens up while I'm baiting this guy, like, we're done. Like, we're dead. Like, we're dead. Like, these enemies will rush out and they'll just kill whoever I have standing here, which really sucks. What should I do instead? Okay, I have one idea. I have one idea. I have one idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna put one of my best combat units right here, which is Mr. Longku. 1, 2, 3 here, with a killer bow. He's going to have his partner with him. She is going to have her best weapon, the silver axe, equipped. I'm going to have Robin and Saria right behind them, ready to support them, with Lisa as well. I'll even pair these two up, because I pretty much always have them fight together now anyway. I'm going to have Olivia back here. My staff users, my rescue staff users, are going to be in the back. You are going to go up here. There is a reason for all of this, I promise. You two are going to be here, unpaired. I need Crom with you. And then Henry can just hang out, and then we don't really need her for anything. Okay, is this the rightmost wall? I thought the rightmost wall was over here. Let me inch forward a little bit. 2 squares, I guess. Okay, so when this wall opens up, I'm going to have... Please open up. Okay, or don't. Okay, it's just random. It's random. There's no pattern to these walls. There is no pattern to these walls. We should stop pretending that we know the pattern, or that we think there's a pattern. There's no pattern. We'll see if we can get it to open up by moving back 1 square. It might have something to do with the proximity thing. Back 1 more square, maybe? Anything? Yes, okay, that's the best we can do. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do with this pair. I would love for them to move in, kill this guy, and then run back out. The problem is he has a Ruin Tome with Luna, plus, and Vengeance, which is terrifying. And he has a guaranteed hit rate. We have to kill him with the longbow. There's no way to kill this guy you have to use the longbow on this guy. And even then, we're not gonna kill him. This is worth a rescue staff, honestly. This is worth a rescue staff. This guy is terrifying. I'm gonna longbow him. If we don't get the dual strikes... In fact, even if we get the dual strikes, we don't kill him. So now I'm going to rescue this pair. Now, because I've been in this passageway up here, this might cause this passageway to open up. If it does, this enemy might come out and attack Longku, and yes, that is a lot of who knows what's really going to happen. Okay, it did open up. Why? How and why? How and why? I'm very confused. Now I can't even check to see why that happened, because all of them just moved. Okay, so everything worked the way that we thought it was going to work. except for the fact that this guy ran out and one-shot Lonku, which I didn't even think he could reach Lonku, so that is something there's no possible way to plan around that. They only open as you get close and then they walk out and kill you. So the problem with this door is it was not opening until I moved away from it. Is this as soon... Hey, Robot Guy, welcome to the stream. Are we doing this chapter as soon as we unlocked it, or have we waited a while? No, we've waited a while. This is much later in the game. This is pretty late in the game. We're actually doing this right now specifically so we can get experience for some of the tougher late game chapters. And even waiting this long to do it, this chapter is still so annoying. Yeah, I know even if he didn't one-shot the other bow guy, I would have killed Tricky. The thing is, I thought he was only going to get attacked by this guy. I did not think he was going to get attacked by this guy as well. I didn't realize that he could run that far. I should have known, though. I should have just checked. I should have checked. I should have checked. I should have checked. You really like Nah, but looking at the map again, you remember how much you hated this map, even normal. Yeah, this map is this is the worst map in the game. Na's Japanese name is just Hey Poochivert, welcome to the stream. Alright, what are we doing today, guys? Serious question. What are we doing with our time? There's 42 viewers here. I feel like people want me to keep playing this game. I will give it one more serious attempt if people want me to do it. But I'm like half joking about just ending the stream right now and just playing Uma Musume instead. It's a shame Awakening only lets you choose between classic and casual. It would be nice to have one save per chapter. Oh, you mean like a forced Iron Man? Yeah, Na's Japanese name is just or yeah, the smiling face emoji if you think about it that way. It's I'll show you. You guys can discuss in chat what you want me to do. If you want me to just end the stream today and just go enjoy my life. If you want me to play some Uma Musume and enjoy my life. Or if you want me to play some more Fire Emblem Awakening and hate my life. Okay. This is Noe's name, which is pronounced no-no. And then this is Na, which is basically just pronounced n. The reason they did it this way is because, as you can see, the katakana looks similar. So I guess they probably just gave them, you know, two similar looking names as like sort of a pun. Uma Musume Lunatic Plus. You would like to watch more Awakening, but it doesn't have to be this chapter or even this save game. We should make a poll. You hate that you can't train the kids on their own maps. You can if you plan for it. I just didn't plan for this. The horses are waiting for you. Just enjoy your life. Manor of Lost Souls was a mistake. The thing is, if I don't do it this week, I have to do it next week anyway. If I don't do it this week, I'm gonna have to do it next week anyway. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't like solve the problem. It just pushes it back by a week. Plus, I'd have to change the title of this stream to something else, which actually would be kind of funny. I would probably just change it to, like, I crashed out and ended the stream without beating a single chapter. Something like that, something really clickbaity. Yeah, they're really, honestly, they're kind of weird. Even for, like, a lot of Japanese characters, like in anime and video games, tend to have very, like, punny names. Even with that consideration, I think like these names are very, like, they're weird. Especially, like, that's just like a very weird name. Maybe finish the map and then end the stream. I mean, that's what I was gonna do anyway. What's the point of Uma Musume? Like, what is the interesting point of the game? Okay, so I think the best thing I can say about Uma Musume, if you've ever played Monster Rancher, it has almost the exact same gameplay loop as Monster Rancher, but you don't have to deal with the really crappy battle system. Like, Monster Rancher's battle system is trash, Like, the game itself is good, like the thing of like raising monsters and teaching them new skills and raising their stats is really fun, but the battle system is trash. So it's like it takes the worst part out of Monster Rancher and replaces it with like a racing minigame, which is actually pretty fun. Like, the racing is pretty fun, raising the characters is pretty fun, and unlike Monster Rancher, there's like a really wide variety of different types of characters you can raise. There's like different builds that actually work and function differently in the game. The gameplay loop itself is very satisfying, and if you like story and characters, there's like a ton of story in the game too. So it's like you're not just doing gameplay, but you're also getting the story of training the characters and what their goals are and how there's all sorts of branching dialogue and scenes where if they win or if they succeed at a goal, you get a certain dialogue. If they just like do okay, you get a different dialogue, and then if you fail, you get like a third, like different, like a bad version of the dialogue. And there's interactions between all the different characters. And then if you just want to like TLDR the entire thing, it just has like a bunch of cute anime girls, which is something that everybody likes. So if you like that, then you're just gonna like the game for that reason. It's sort of like, you know what I found, which was really funny. These games are nothing alike, but what I found really funny and interesting recently that I noticed is, I mean, you guys, I know for a fact you know what Stardew Valley is. It's like one of the most popular games that's come out, one of the most popular indie games that's come out in recent memory. Stardew Valley has been so popular and so influential in the West for so long, and what's really funny is just like this year, like maybe last year, like Japan like just found out about it. And now a bunch of Japanese streamers are like playing Stardew Valley for the first time, even though, you know, in the West it's been popular for like half a decade or longer. Uma Musume is like the opposite of that. It's been like one of the most popular mobile style games in Japan for so long, and it's been very difficult to play in the West, impossible for most people to play. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. And now that the game is finally released in the West, it just has seen like a huge surge of popularity in the West because it is fundamentally actually a very good game. Neff says it sounds really cool. Charmander says Haru Uraha is happy no matter what, even if she loses. Yeah, Gold Ship drop kicks you if you win. I posted a gif of that in the Discord. In fact, let me just advertise the Discord while we're here anyway. If anybody wants to come to the Discord, if you go to the gaming channel, I got this scene where Gold Ship drop kicked me, which I thought was really funny, so I posted that in the Discord. If you want to join, you can come talk about Fire Emblem, talk about Uma Musume, talk about anything else. You were wondering why everyone was talking about it. Yeah, I mean, it's just fundamentally, it's just a really well-designed game. And if you like Monster Rancher, that to me is like the best possible comparison to make. It's like Monster Rancher, but if you removed the crappy battle system and just replaced it with like a bunch of really good things. Like cute girls, awesome, like an awesome racing mini game instead of a terrible like battling game that sucks. Like good story and characters, which is something that Monster Rancher doesn't have, but it has the same awesome like training gameplay loop. Yeah, I know the real Haru Urara is still alive. She's retired now, but she's still alive, like the real horse. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. If you guys don't know, all of the characters in the game are based on real life racehorses. So that's like another cool little gimmick. Like when you get into the characters, like you can learn about the real horses that they're based on and the different like lore and everything that goes into it. I don't know, it's just really cool. There's just a lot of depth. There's a lot of depth through it. All right, I'm just gonna do this because if I don't do it today, I'm gonna have to do it next week anyway. I'd rather just get it over with. And we'll be extremely careful on the next pass. I'm genuinely saying this. I'm not doing this again. Like, if this happens again, it's not even like I'm gonna end the stream and reset. It's like I'm not gonna beat this chapter at all. Like I'm just not gonna do it for the rest of the playthrough. I'm just gonna, like, maybe we'll come back and do it at the very end. But otherwise, we're just going to move on to other chapters next week, if I can't beat this today. Specifically right now. I just don't have it in me anymore. I've exhausted myself on this, on the BS of this chapter. Shadow Star says this time for sure. I really hope so. The good thing is for the people watching the archive, they'll get to listen to me yap about Uma Musume for like 20 minutes in the middle of the stream. which I'm sure everybody wants. Apparently, Haru won her first race earlier this month in a sort of a race for retired horses. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know about that. I did a Haru Urara stream, so for those who are curious about Uma Musume and haven't watched it yet, you can definitely go check that out. The archive is pretty good. I had a lot of fun with that stream. I really want to do it again. Problem is, with all of my problems, like with my voice and stuff, and my acid reflux and everything, it's very hard for me to stream multiple times per week. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream it again soon. I want to, though, because especially just, it's one of those things where if I don't do it, like now, while it's popular, like if I wait too long, like it's not going to matter as much, like no, people aren't really going to care if I wait too long. Whereas if I stream it now while it's popular, like people might actually watch it. Okay, who are we going to give this kill to? Let's start with... Actually, let's start with this duo. Try to chip them down or kill them. Very nice. That allows us to get a massive surge. We can even go over here if we really want to, but I don't want to. Excuse me. I don't want to because I'd actually rather be in position to deal with the next enemy group. Go over here. Go over here. You can tell I've like completely lost the will to continue. I'm just forcing myself through sheer willpower. Alright, so these enemies are going to move now. I think I'm going to do what I did last time. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go here. And then if we don't pick up this kill, I'll just use a rescue staff. And if we do pick up this kill, even better. Alright, before we go any further, before we get into the mire grinding, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to refill my water so my throat doesn't get too sore. I highly recommend, if you haven't drank any water today, just go and get some. Dehydration is really bad for your health. It's like one of the worst possible things that people don't take seriously. And I will be right back. Cat V, welcome to the stream. You despise everything about this chapter. Oh my god, we've been struggling today. I have to tell you, we've been struggling. Anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Puchivert, you say you did watch 10 minutes of the Uma Musume stream. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, if it's not your thing, you don't have to force yourself to watch anything that you don't want to watch, but if you find it interesting, it's worth checking out, and then if you want to play the game for yourself, you always have that option too. Or if you just don't like it, that's fine too. I'm one of those people, like, I don't really care. Like, if people don't like the things that I like, it doesn't bother me. And if people like things that I don't like, it also doesn't bother me. But yeah. Snow warning, you don't like the connection to real horse racing because it's often not that far removed from animal cruelty. It's just like if Pokemon was based on a real animal fights. Honestly, that's a really interesting point of discussion. It's the kind of thing I'm not really qualified to talk about. I'm just the kind of person who just doesn't really... I don't know, how do I want to phrase this? Like, I'm just not that, like, sensitive or, like, aware of, like, real world issues, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that kind of person. Like, I'm just usually not that aware of, like, real world issues. I don't really stay that informed on things, so, you know, there's always going to be, like, people who have, like, a certain way of viewing specific things, and it's just not something that I'm really good at, like, understanding or discussing, in the way that people would like it to be discussed, especially like sensitive topics. And the other thing is that for me, like, it's pretty easy for me to separate like fictional content from real world situations. I mean, there's probably a limit. There's got to be limits in there somewhere. There's certain things where, like, if you made a game about it, it would be, like, very strange to do so. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I'm actually not going to fight this Risen this time because he has counter and I don't feel like dealing with it. And I can just Nosferatu him. Let's just Nosferatu him. Yeah, we'll just do what we did last time. He spawned with counter again, so we'll just do the same thing again. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know if I can explain it better than that. It definitely sounds like probably you could take this as me being very insensitive, and I mean, that could be true. Maybe I am a little bit insensitive, I don't know. But it's just like my personality. God. Yeah. Nosferatu is just one of the... Like, people complain about Nosferatu being broken. The thing is, the enemies in this game are so strong. Nosferatu is just, like, one of the few things that gives you a fighting chance against these absolute demons. You think the fact that Pokemon isn't realistic is what makes it a little bit easier to accept? I mean, I guess in that sense, it's kind of the same with Uma Musume. It's clearly not realistic, so it might be easier to accept that. Cat B, you're doing a no pair-up and no Gale Force run on hard while recruiting every kid, and you're not looking forward to doing this paralog again so soon. I mean, the thing is, Rescue Staff is probably... Rescue Staff is probably the most broken thing in the game. I would say it's even more broken than Gale Force. So even if you're banning Gale Force, you can still just use the Rescue Staff. It's close, though. I would say Rescue Staff and Gale Force are pretty close to being tied for the most broken things in the game. The advantage of Gale Force, of course, is that you can just trigger it yourself, and it gives you an extra action, which is pretty powerful. But the advantage of Rescue Staff is that you don't need to kill an enemy in order to trigger it. Now, granted, on hard mode, it's much easier to kill enemies, so in your case, Gale Force would probably be better, but either way, you still have the Rescue Staff, so just use the Rescue Staff. It's so powerful. You have it, just use it. Or don't. If you're looking for a real challenge, ban the Rescue Staff, then you'll see how hard this game can really be. you will have a much harder time if you ban the Rescue Staff. Oh my god, just stop already. Stop having such absurd stats. Just stop. Just stop already. It's mostly the Dark Knights, honestly. That's what I'm seeing, is it's pretty much the Dark Knights. Oh my god, I forgot that he one-shots Long Q! Guys, I don't know if I can do this today. The thing is, like, I've had a really, really, really rough week. And I wanted to just play video games and enjoy myself. And I can't do that because I'm just, like, so mentally distracted that I can't even, like stay on top of the game. And I keep forcing game overs. Yeah, Rescue is Gale Force without requiring the kill, and also you can use it on other characters. Like, the thing about Gale Force is, like, if you get Gale Force on Lucina, for example, then Lucina can use Gale Force. If you get a Rescue Staff into the hands of Libra, he can use Rescue on any other character. So it's like giving Gale Force to every other character on your team. Yeah, that's a one-shot. Rescue is like remote dancing, too. Rescue is clutch, but since you're training everyone, you don't really have to rely on it. Don't force yourself, you can do it. Should we move to chapter 19? No, I'm not ready to do another chapter. To do any other chapter, I would have to like actually do research and practice, which is the thing I did not have time to do this week. So I can't do any other chapters. It has to be this chapter. This is the only one that we've like done at least some prep for. And then the frustrating thing is that I know I can beat this. I know I can beat this. It's not even that hard. It's just an extremely long chapter where if you make one mistake, you have to redo the entire thing, and I keep making mistakes. Putting a tonic on Lonku is probably an option. I mean, the thing about putting the tonic on Lonku is that it doesn't even help us if they roll Luna Plus. Do we have resistance tonics? We do. It's definitely worth doing just to protect me from continuing to make the same stupid mistake over and over again. I could play the chapter off stream if that helps. It's not like this map makes repeat content. Nef Champion, I hate this map. The thing is, I have to record the footage because I need to use it for the guide video later. But this is going to be trash anyway. Like this footage is not going to be useful for the guide video. I think we just have to come back and do this another week when I'm capable of playing the game without making mistakes. Alright. Serious question. If you guys want Animu Musume stream, I will make a thumbnail and I will come back and I will stream in like 30 minutes. If you guys don't want it, I'm just going to play it off stream by myself, so it doesn't really matter. But if you actively do not want me to stream Uma Musume, just click no, and I'll take your opinion into consideration. Let's look at the world map. Let's look at our world map. While I wait for the results of the poll, let's check see what the world map looks like. What's cool is we have so many chapters and shops available to us. The thing I hate about that is when I want to buy a specific item, I have to go find it, and I have no idea where it is. Okay, so really we have basically Valm Castle Approach, which is this chapter, which we can definitely beat. Like if my goal was just to get a one-turn clear, I could beat this chapter right now. I showed it off at the end of last stream. I actually did it with Lonku too. I did Lonku lethality proc on Walhart because he has no defense against lethality. You can just one-shot him if you reset the game a couple times, which is pretty funny. This chapter, I really want to take the time to make a very good stream on this chapter and really show like how you can play this chapter to get experience, to get items, and then still like one round kill Walhart, but do it on turn like 6 or 7. You don't have to do it on turn 1. That's a really important thing that a lot of people don't really understand with the late game of Awakening. They base the entire late game of Awakening around just clearing chapters in 1 turn or 2 turns and not really playing them, which causes them to fall even further behind on experience, which causes them to have struggle with the next chapters, which then they have to do 1-turn skips on those chapters. What you can do is you can play these chapters in a way that lets you get like 5 or 6 turns worth of experience, and then still just get the 1-turn kill to safely end the chapter, you know, when you get into a tricky situation. The other chapter we have available now is this one over here, and this is one, Divine Dragon Grounds. This one is pretty tough for me personally. It's just a chapter that I've never really solved or figured out. I don't normally do it in my playthroughs. I usually just skip it because I just find it to be so difficult. But I know there are like tricks to do it that'll make it easier. Now, if you're actually interested, I can always record things without streaming. Yeah, I do that sometimes too. I just do private streams and then I use the footage later. That was Lawn Quick. Lethality for the win. Yeah, we beat it last time. Why would anyone click no? You can just leave, says Puchifer. Yeah, I know, but still. I mean, it's good to get people's opinions. Like, in the grand scheme of things, 29% is actually not really that high. That means there's only like a couple of people who just like actively like hate the idea of me streaming Uma Musume, whereas most other people either just don't care or they're interested in watching it. Skill max long crew triggering lethality is a really fun ending to any stream. Have you not done the box strat on the Tiki Paralog? So the box strat doesn't really work on Lunatic Plus. You can kind of get it to work, but not really. You have two types of enemies. Enemies with pass can move through your box and they can attack Tiki. Enemies who do not have pass will just attack your units without trying to get to her. So there's not really any solution, because you would need a crap load of units who are capable of fighting her. What we did saw last time that helps with Lunatic Plus, if you rescue her up to this tile up here, the enemies coming from the left can't reach her on the turn that they spawn, and it just kind of gives her a zone that's like a lot safer to stand in, where you mostly just need to prioritize getting rid of the enemies on the left every turn, and then you have time to mow down the units coming from the right and coming from the south. So we're going to kind of focus on doing that in the future. Honestly, it seems like people are kind of interested. I'm going to go make a quick thumbnail, and I'll post another stream link within the next like 30 minutes, I would say, maybe even sooner. If you want to stay on top of things, just come to the Discord and join the get the scheduling role, because I always post announcements whenever I post streams. Yeah, pass causes problems on Lunatic Plus. It makes the box strat a lot more inconsistent. Anyway, thanks to everyone for being here today. It really means a lot. I'm glad you guys put up with my crashing out and playing terribly and not even beating the chapter that we wanted to beat today. I'm gonna have to change the title of this stream later. I don't know what I'm gonna change it to. Something funny, probably. But either way, I guess I'll talk to you guys in about 30 minutes. Otherwise, if you're not gonna come back, enjoy the rest of your day.